Welcome to the Varsity Kansas Big Show. I'm Taylor Eldridge. I'm joined this week by Heights coach Terry Harrison. Coach, thanks for coming on.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Heights kind of flying a little under the radar before the season, but now 2-0, big wins over Olathe North and Wichita Northwest. We were talking a little bit before. Not really a surprise to you guys, though. I mean, you feel like this is a team that had potential from the start?
Yeah, we like a lot of teams, we do a lot in the summer, so we were able to see our guys at summer camp with some pretty good teams. We went to Pittsburgh this year. They do a great job there, and it was a pretty competitive camp. But our young guys have been very very successful the last couple of years on the freshman and JV level. So we had an idea that this year those guys coming in their own on varsity, we'd have a chance to be okay. But we're glad to start pretty well.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people were picking Northwest. I mean, especially after they beat Carroll week 1. You feel like your kids were kind of motivated by that to prove that Heights were still here?
Yeah, I mean, probably. We don't really talk a lot about that, but like all kids with social media now, I'm sure they heard picks and they heard whatever that might mean, but they've had success against Northwest in the past, and they've done such a great job of practicing and focused on just the here and now. And our biggest game of the year last week was Northwest, but our kids have done a good job. We've moved on, and we expected to win, and we took care of business, and now they've done a great job of kind of letting that go, and now we're getting ready for Dodge City.
Yeah, this team ran for 531 yards against a really good Northwest defense. I mean, you have Cavante Baker back there at quarterback running the flex bone. You have Jelani Williams, Ontario Russell, DeJuan Scott. I mean, you guys just have so many options back there. I mean, what makes this ground attack so good?
Oh, number one, their unselfishness and their willingness to block for each other. Flex bone got pretty popular in Kansas with Hutch's success they had, and then Heights, under Coach Wheeler, their success in being 3 state championship games. But it does not work at all if you don't have running backs that'll block for each other. And so as fast as those kids are and as good as they are with the ball, without that willingness to block for each other, it's not something that you're going to be very good at. And they've done a good job of doing that. So we're proud that they play so unselfishly.
Yeah, and you see, it seems like in 5A and 6A, a lot of teams are spreading the field out. They're throwing the ball more. But for you guys to kind of have that throwback offense, and you kind of touched on it a little before the season. You said, I mean, everybody's looking to score touchdowns the same way. I mean, it doesn't really matter what way you do it. You feel like that's kind of your guys' philosophy? I mean, even though the spread is becoming more popular?
Yeah, you can see what we do on TV if you watch like Georgia Tech and the Naval Academy. They've done a great job of it, and they run our offense very successfully. But what it shows is that football is so much more than a shotgun snap, or the spread means so many things. In reality, as a coach, you watch these teams. No two spread teams are alike, just like no two flexbone teams are alike. But our philosophy is that you don't get more points for throwing touchdown passes. If they gave us more points, we might try to throw a couple more. But it's more about you can be explosive in whatever you do. It ultimately comes down to who plays the hardest and who's the toughest team, regardless of what type of offense or what name you want to put on it.
Yeah, and a really young team. I think that's probably why some people are surprised about you guys. So 2-0, long bus ride out to Dodge City this Friday. What's the biggest challenge in facing a 3-hour bus ride with a young team like this?
I think just that. In our league, we're fortunate in our league that our bus trips are very short, and it causes great rivalries and great competitive games. But then when you get on a bus and you go out to Dodge City, that's just not something that our league does a lot. We don't travel out to games like that a lot, and we've been fortunate that Coach Wheeler, our athletic director, it's almost become a rivalry. Us in Dodge City, and we've had some really good games dating back to the playoffs back when we were in our state championship years. But it's a good experience for getting on a bus and having to deal with a little bit of adversity, and our kids get to play somewhere else against kids you don't know, and we enjoy that a lot. And they have a great program, and we just hope we show up and give it our best shot.
Yeah, and after these first 2 wins, I moved Heights up to number 6 in Kansas, number 2 in 5A. Now the expectations are back to being really high, what you guys are used to being. I mean, is that pressure? I mean, you feel like was the practices this week any different, or?
No, I mean, we talked to our kids about it. We're the same team we were in June when we went to team camp, and we have really tried to focus inward and look at ourselves and see, where our shortcomings are. We have not played our best game yet. Our best game is out there. Our perfect game's out there, and we haven't played it yet. But we're focusing inward on what we can do and what we can control. And the fun part is when you start getting ranked and you start hearing things like that, it makes more competitive. It makes more bigger atmosphere games, I guess, and you're going to play in front of maybe a few more people. But beyond that, it doesn't really change anything for us as far as how we practice and how we play.
Scary news. Heights hasn't played its best yet. So we'll be looking forward to that score out in Dodge City this Friday. Coach, thanks for joining me. Good luck.
Thanks, Taylor.